Welcome into the Raw Knuckles podcast today. I have a special guest today, and God, if you listen to this podcast at all over the past couple of years, you know this is a guy I always talk about. Incredible player, incredible coach, my favorite coach of all time in my life. He won 8 Stanley Cups, Hall of Famer. Incredible numbers. Those 8 Stanley Cups in 12 years. He has 9, one as a coach in New Jersey. And I want to welcome this guy today because he really had a lot to do with Chris Nilan becoming a hockey player, not just a fighter. That's one of the things people say to me today. You weren't just a fighter. You could play the game. And my coach, Jacques Lemaire,
turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Raw Knuckles. Hosted by Chris Nilan.
Nilan's going ballistic. I love it. He's going to hit his own players. He's a madman. He's a freaking madman. Look at him going to town. That'll be a suspension. That'll be a fine. Bring them all out, Nilan, you freak.
It's going to be sick.
I'm so happy to have you and good to see you. How you doing?
Very good, Chris. Yourself?
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. Geez, I always look forward to chatting with you because I would say I'm a Jacques Lemaire disciple. I am a disciple because I love the way you coach the game. Obviously, not just for me. When I look at my teammates and I look at what we achieved as a group playing under you and what we learned, you get such a bad rap. Okay, I'm going to read you something here. This is hilarious. I was doing a little research, and it was last year in the playoffs. Vancouver is playing Nashville Predators.
Yeah.
And the headline in the provincial paper in British Columbia, Canucks versus Predators. A defensive scheme that would make Jacques Lemaire proud.
Wow.
The former NHL coach embraced defense-first hockey. Then the Canucks are doing the same in Nashville. Now watch this. Later in the article, boy, does he jump all over it. He says, defensive scheme that would make Jacques proud in the bad old boring days of the NHL. That system kept teams from carrying the puck up through the neutral zone. Oh, well. How come when everybody talks about Jacques or Jacques' name comes up, it's always, the trap?
It hurts. it hurts to from some of these guys. Well, I guess, Chris, they remember how we played in the old days, and they didn't allow. Well, they had no choice to allow it, but I guess they weren't a fan of the style of game we played.
Yeah,
and it was they call it the trap. I thought it was a smart way to play the game, and they were talking about too much interference, but I'm telling you that I couldn't buy it because I have to say that in those days, at a time, not at this when we first started to play like that, but at a time I was with the Devils, and I had to. I was looking at all the team that tried to imitate what we're doing, and there was a lot of hooking, which I didn't want the guys to hook because I wanted them to be in good position. So if you're in good position, you don't need to hook, because when the play develops, you're right there. So you just got to fight for the puck. And I had to make practices. This is unusual. Make practices to show how the guy, when they could hook the other player.
Yeah.
So imagine that. People are accusing that they can't play against us because we hook, and they're not free. That's why they didn't like to play against us. And I had to make practices. Say, now you can't. You got to play position. And at this time, when you do back check, now you got to step in the guy to slow him down, a bit, so our defenseman can get the puck and things like that. But I even told a referee after my career that I did that, and they couldn't believe it. Well, I said, believe it, because I'm telling you.
Well, when you look at that system and haven't played it, and you're right, and back in that day, there was a lot of hooking and holding. They let a lot of stuff like that go. Referees, sure. They kind of put their whistle away at times, but in that system, like you said, if you're doing your job and you're in the correct position, that when that puck comes to that area, you're going to be in front of that person. You're going to be in his face. You're going to make him turn the puck over. You don't have to hook or hold him.
That was our plan.
Right?
Exactly. If the thing is, I call that covering the ice.
Yeah.
Not having the winger on the boards or straight in the middle, because it's far. If there's a pass on the side, it's far to go and pick him up. But they had to be about the dot, where the dots are in neutral zone. They had to be there. And then it was quicker to get on them if they get a pass along the boards. And if they got a pass in the middle, then I had the two guys being able to go as quick as they can to the one that would receive the puck.
Yeah, and
it was all about position.
Yeah, all about position. It took me a while to learn that, and I don't want this to all be about the trap, but it was certainly a successful system that worked. And when you play, a lot of times when you played against teams that maybe on paper offensively had some better players, some superstars, it was a good way to frustrate them and limit them scoring opportunities. And I just remember when I was learning that system, it was difficult because I was always taught, get going, go, you got to be. And it was hard because you have to have patience and you have to be in position. A lot of, especially young guys have a harder time because they're always they want to show the coach, I can play, I can do this. But you're trying to get them to play within that system. And it takes a while, right? Do you find it more difficult? Younger guys have a harder time picking it up than older guys?
Well, everything, Chris, when you really think about it, it's all hockey sense. Okay? Let's say that I'll go, if we have time there, I'll go.
Yeah, we got plenty of time.
I'll go with the first guy, which you were first quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I asked from the first guy to try to push one guy towards the board with the puck and then chase him. So you would play in the middle of the two defensemen. And I'm talking about those days, not today. Yeah. It's a different thing today. There's always adjustments to any type of system you do make. So the first guy was pushing this guy towards the board. So when they push it towards the board, our guy that was on the winger that in neutral zone that was in the middle, he used to go toward a little more towards the board to close that pass coming along the boards.
Yeah.
And the other guy was taking the middle.
Middle away.
The middle away, exactly. So when they came up, the puck was passing only on one side. So everyone knew that.
Yeah.
Defenseman, forward, you know the puck is coming. You
Yeah.
could try to intercept it. You got to look where the opponents are, how fast they're coming, and all that. And, when the pass is made, you have to be where the pass goes.
Yeah.
You got to be close so you can put pressure on the. And we made a ton of turnovers. Maybe the guys were used to it, especially their. It took time. It took years. The guys to really try to find ways to go on the weak side. Like as an example, when the defenseman was skating towards the board, they started at a time to send it back to the other defenseman at the blue line and then go
up to the wing.
Up to the other side. But for us, they felt good with that. But for us, it wasn't a problem because I told the guy, hey, when he puts it there, we all transfer on the other side and we have that same result. So it was fun to coach that. And for all the players, it was I'm learning the game. I'm learning what the other guys wants to do. I'm learning my position on the ice. And I felt that everyone was getting better as a hockey player. They understood. I remember told one of our guys, I said, listen, I said, there's 10,000, 20,000 people they all see where that puck goes. There's one guy that doesn't know where it's going. It's you. That's not normal.
Yeah. Well, God, so many guys I've talked to over the years, and your name comes up. And if they played for you, they all say it. Best coach I ever had. Best coach I ever had. Jamie McClenaghan, the goaltender. He's on TSN now. Best coach I ever had. That has to feel good. It's got to feel good. I know the time I coached with you in Jersey, then I went to the East Coast Hockey League, and I became a head coach, and I coached that team. I have probably about 4 or 5 of those guys that I played for that call me on a regular basis. And it feels good. And I hear the same thing from them. Oh, you're the best coach I ever had. Best coach I ever had. And it does feel good. You made some type of impact on the guys that played for you. And I think that's so cool. Now, that being said, I want to get back, other than the coaching, I want to get back to your playing days. And I look at, again, 8 Stanley Cups as a player in 12 years. Like, did that ever get old?
Well, if I tell you about my career with Montreal, I was playing junior with the junior Canadiens, playing against the Ontario League.
Yeah.
And, I used to get at the forum early so I could look at the practice Montreal, and Beliveau was there, Richard, all the guys that I was a fan of them and looking what they're doing and learning a lot. And then I got to play with Montreal, and these guys were still there at that time. So for me, it was, because coaches weren't telling you much. You play the game. If you can't play, you go back in the minors.
Yeah.
And then when we think you can play, we call you back. That's how it worked. So we didn't get much instruction from the coaches, and but the individual were looking. That's what I was doing all the time, looking what the best player. What are they doing special? and try to imitate what they're doing. And then we went on with we won cups with Richard Beliveau, and then Beliveau left, and then we kept winning, and then Richard left, and then Flower came in, and we kept winning, and it was before the season starts, we go to a training camp. I remember, well, we got to win the cup this year. We got to win the cup again. And we had a couple years that we didn't, 1 year we didn't make the playoffs after winning the cup, which it happened only on another team. And that I attribute that to a lack of unity with our families and players. We had a little problem going on, and that affected the whole team. We weren't playing, we weren't thinking the same way as we did when things were going great about each other, and feeling great when we're with 20 other guys. It wasn't like that. And then after we came back, and they had the Philly 2 years that they won, and then it was time to get back. And I told you that story when Serge said, if we want to do something for hockey, it's time to do it. We got to win. And then we won in 76. And then we went on and won 4 straight. So at the end of my career, it was like it was the end was the start was like the end has to be like this. How we feel now, the end, we had to feel great because back on the ice and we're winning and we won the cup. And it was great all along, but I have to tell you that at a time it become more stressful because we had to win the cup the first week.
Yeah.
Which you don't do that.
It doesn't work that way. So, God, I look at your stats, and today's stats are a huge thing, right?
Yeah.
All these new things. How long has he carried the puck for? How long on the ice? How many hits? How many times did he wipe his forehead off on the bench? Everything. But the one stat, and I go back to it because it's incredible. When you retired, you ended up plus 344.
Yeah.
Like
I never knew that.
But that's incredible. But when we look at that, and you were such a great offensive player. You had a great shot. You played with 2 guys. You gave them the puck. They're going to score. Not all the time, but 2 great goal scorers in Shuddy and Flower. Yep. But where does that defensive mindset come from with you? Now, I kind of have an idea of what you might say. Let me just preface it with saying you might say, well, I wanted to play the game the right way. But did somebody instill that in you? Did somebody say, hey, Jacques, great, you can play offense, but, you got to take care of the other end of the rink?
Well, this is a question I never had. And I'm listening to you while you're talking. There's things that come to my mind. I don't think you learned that in a way. I think you have to be. I look at a guy that I feel that is similar to me in how he played the game was Carbonneau. Carbonneau was not he was a simple guy in a way, thinking about the team. He wants the team to win. I don't think he cared about scoring. If it happened, okay, that's fine. And I'm trying to describe a little bit what I was thinking when I was playing.
Can I stop you for a second?
Yes, go on.
And just see if we can get you. Now, I remember Dan Daou and Guy Carbonneau came in, the two guys going for that center ice position at the time.
Right.
And Guy came in and had a ton of points in junior. He was a great scorer, had a lot of assists. And the word is now, and I heard it, I hear it from everybody. Well, Jacques came and talked to Guy.
Yeah.
When you came in and you said, Guy, listen, this is the way I want you to play. You kind of instilled that in him, that defensive side of the game, and certainly you put him with Bob Gainey, and put him with me.
I thought Carbo had it. You know, he blocked a lot of shots. He was in everybody's way. I didn't want him to be caught behind the offensive zone.
Yeah.
Why getting caught there? You're not helping the team there, except if you get the puck.
Yeah.
So he played his game always coming back after what's happening, except if he sees an opportunity. You know, and I knew Flower there. I knew that I said he's an offensive guy.
Yeah.
And where he's the best at is in the offensive zone. I didn't expect him to back check except if I fell behind the net or something like that.
Yeah.
But I was going to cover him up, that's for sure. And Steve, I was talking to Steve. I said, make sure if I have a chance, I'll go, but you get back. And Steve was great for that. You know, every time I felt that we had 2-on-2 or 2-on-1, whatever, I was going in. Steve was always back, so I could count on him. Yeah. You know, there's players you can count on easy, and others it's a little tougher for them because it's not in their DNA. Yeah. So no, it was like that. It's, you know, I played with Cournoyer, which he was an offensive guy, and then Ivan came back. You know, when he feel like he had to. Murray Wilson, you know, I always was on a pretty good line, and our line was successful pretty much every year.
Yeah, it was, and the three of you guys certainly gelled together. And you bring up Guy, and certainly remember the goal, and it broke my heart because I was a Boston Bruins fan at the time, even though I was drafted by the Canadiens. And you remember our car ride. We talked about that.
Right.
When I picked you guys up. And, it was incredible. But, you know, when you look at that goal, Game 7, you get the puck, you know, Flower gets it, you get it down the zone, and you drop him that puck. And he one-timed it, and I was like, oh. What a moment in the history of this organization that was. And then, you know, savoir-faire, Yvon Lambert scoring the game winner for Mario.
Yeah.
So, you and Guy, you certainly, you know, there was talk in retirement. You guys didn't talk and all that. Your relationship had somewhat soured. And when Guy was near the end, when you were coaching, because I was with him the night he retired. He dropped me and Chelly at the airport and said he wasn't coming. How difficult was that you as your line mate and a teammate and a friend, and then all of a sudden you're thrust into the coaching position behind the bench, and you just said it. Guy is an offensive player. And now we're trying to put a system in that, yeah, offensive players can play, but Guy was not a guy who could ever play a system. Do you think?
Well, he's got to be part of this system. How about if, think about it, could he do the job exactly the way you've done it?
No. No.
Well, not on everything. I'm just talking about the game.
Okay.
The position in being the first guy.
Yeah, he could.
And I wouldn't go on that, Chris. It's not even that. It's not even that. What happened is I asked Guy to be in the high slot because I know myself when you get where the defensemen are on the PP, it's a battle there, and it's not a battle for myself. It's not a battle for Guy. It could be it's a great battle for you.
Yeah,
but not us. So I asked Guy to be in the high slot, and he was ending up on the board all the time because on the board in those days, you never get pressure. Yeah. You have the puck, you keep it, and you make a pass. But Guy, to help the team, that's not what we wanted from Guy. Yeah. We want him to shoot. Somebody else is going to give you the puck, and you shoot because you got it, and the other guys, they don't have it.
Yeah.
You can score, and the other guys are not as good to score goals. And you know me. There's a lot of times I came back and asked him that. I tried to work with him, and as a coach, we all know that there's a time it gets a barrier between the player and the
coach.
And the coach.
I've had it.
And it's because you're not on the same page. Yeah. What I think the player doesn't think like that. Yeah. And he doesn't want to think what I think.
Yeah.
Even if it's good for him, even if it's great for the team.
Yeah.
At that point, the guy, it looks like he doesn't care. But I've seen that through my career after. There's no doubt. He's not the only one. The thing is...
was that hard on you, though, Jacques? Was it hard? Listen, you got to do what's best for the team. I got it. But personally and emotionally on you, that had to be difficult. No?
You bet.
Right?
You bet. This guy was my roommate. We were having dinner every night together. Yeah. On the road, we were always together. Always. And then Mario lived it with some player. I guess all the coaches do.
Yeah.
Chris, it's not easy to go on and, having the 20 guys agree with what you want to do.
Yeah.
Even if you explain the reason, it's like, Steve Schott, he's a great offensive player, and he's got a natural skill to get rebounds, to tip pucks, to know where the puck's going to go. He had great skill for that. And I remember asking certain things from him, and he wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And me, everything as a coach I did with the players, I never thought the player would be a worse player. I never thought that. Yeah. I always thought that the player would be a better player.
Yeah.
Hey, if if you don't score, you can do something else. You're going to play a long time.
Yeah.
Ask Chambers.
Yeah.
Chambers played a long time. You know, there's a ton of guys that
Ludwig.
Coach.
Right?
Look at Scott Stevens.
Yeah, Scotty.
Scotty was always going with the puck and tried to be
Offense.
Bobby Orr, tried to follow, you know.
Yeah,
but, you know, not that he's not Bobby Orr. The thing is, he would get 10 goals, 12 goals max in the season. I don't know.
No.
And then you play, when he started to play the way I wanted, he was one of the best, or not the best defenseman in the league. That's one. He had not the same amount of goals, maybe 4 less, but nobody wanted to play against him.
No one. No.
You know?
Yeah.
What do you know, as a coach?
Kill penalties, right? He played against the toughest line, killed penalties like no one else.
Exactly. And
And
you know what? If he wouldn't be tired, I think I would have put him up front like I did with you on the power play at times.
yeah. Yeah.
You know, because he would have been great there. But I said, I'm going to kill this guy.
Yeah. Playing too much, right?
Yeah. To get a couple goals more.
Well, I remember. Well, there's another guy. How about Bobby Carpenter? Bobby Carpenter was like a poor man's Guy Carbonneau at that point in his career, right?
Yeah. Career.
Yeah, at that point. Like, because he come in as, you know, the can't-miss kid, 50 goals. But Bobby Carpenter, that's another one. Coppy freaking loves Jacques Lemaire. We talk about it. But that's what you're talking about. Like, his Bobby was an offensive player and all that, had a big injury when he was in Boston, in his knee, and then he ends up becoming a really effective penalty killer, two-way centerman, face-off man. Like, and you helped him do that. I love that. I love seeing that impact you can have on guys. And it's a lot more positive than the negative ones, that's for sure.
Well, I like Carpenter. I bring him up probably at least once a year.
Yeah.
I talk about, when we talk about hockey, he always comes on the subject. When he came with us, there's no team that wanted him at that time.
Yeah.
Okay, he stopped scoring 50 goals. You know, he had his own problem there. But he came to camp just to try out. And right away I told Lou, I said, well, if I can make him play the way I want, because I thought he had a great hockey mind. He was smart. He knew where to go on the ice. And he could defend. And this guy, I talked to him, and then everything was fine. You know, he just jumped in, and he was happy to just be with us.
Yeah.
Do you know that this guy, he's a plus player playing against all the top line in the league through his career with us?
That's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it is.
You're going to tell me that scoring 30 goals would have made him as good for the club?
No.
Would have made him more proud?
No. Stanley Cup.
If he thinks about himself, maybe.
Yeah.
But if he thinks about the team winning and enjoying the wins and the glory that the team had, hey, that was something.
Yeah, it was. There's no question. A copy, certainly one of my. I got to play with him in Boston there. I really liked playing with Bobby, and yeah, that's a big, that's a big ask. And listen, the guy wants to extend his career, there's no question. But when you go from a 50-goal scorer and kind of reinvent yourself with the help certainly of you. I mean, that's just a great story. And a lot of people, oh yeah, they think the trap this, trap that. But boy, it's an effective system, and it was really effective back in the day. But so, Copy being those one. As far as Guy, were you able to put all that to rest with Guy before he passed? Were you able to sit down with him and?
No, never sit down with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. The press, they love that shit.
Yeah.
And they try to see what you had to say and what Guy had to say. Me, I stayed put.
Yeah.
I stayed put on this. I said, Guy, you guys always said he's honest. Just ask him what happened.
Yeah.
And that was my only answer that I gave. Me, I got nothing against him except
I know that.
Except when I heard that he talked against me, and somebody would tell me, "Hey, Lafleur really put you down today." Not again.
Yeah.
But besides that, hey, I respect the guy for what he did, for the player he was. I had more fun with this guy than
anybody.
Maybe Guy Lafleur.
maybe Guy Lafleur.
Maybe. But I had a great time with him. I enjoyed playing with him. I knew what he was going. He knew what I was trying to do. It was great. Just great.
No, I'm just. Again, I'm glad that at least, and God rest his soul, I love them and I love you. And I just hate to see any friction between guys who really have such a history together. So anyway, that's enough said about that. And so funny. When you look at this game today, and I love picking your brain about this stuff. The game today, okay, they take the red line out. They wanted to get rid of the boring, bad trap. It was terrible for the game. Is it a better game today?
Oh, it's a better game, no doubt.
Really?
You got the skills. You first of all, you got the skill, the size, the quickness. The passing is unbelievable. You get defense is not as good to me as it was because we focus on offense.
The whole league now.
Right? The whole league. It's not one team. The last team, the NHL focus on offense. They're working on defense, but what is most important is offense. And all the players, they want to score goals.
Today, that's how you get paid.
Well, you get a few of those. You get the bucks. You could get one good year and you're settled.
Yeah.
So I like the game today. You got. You were talking the other day about taking the red line out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I know you would see again the skills. It would be incredible. I don't know how it would look today, and I don't know
if you put the red line back in. If you put it back in.
Yeah, if you put it back in.
Yeah.
I don't know. One thing I know, there would be more checking because it would be everyone in neutral zone. You can't make a long pass. Now it's simple. From your zone, send it up to the red line.
There'd be no more of that. There'd be no more of that. Right?
There wouldn't be any of that, except if you're at the red line. But inside the red line, you would have somebody on you I don't know how it.
Well, let's think about this for a sec. Just so they put the red line back in.
Yeah.
And we talked the other day, and I know you had some good points and things I didn't think about, obviously. And you were talking about guys today pass with their wrists, not their arms.
Yeah.
Okay. So these guys are that good. They're that fast. They're that good with the puck. And I know Orr said this. If they put the red line back in, he would like to see 5 players come up the ice together. He said if they're that talented with the puck and that good and that quick and that fast, let's see them pass their way up the ice and come up the ice together. Do you think that's ever a possibility by the NHL of putting the red line back in? Or do you think they're so scared of the trap?
No, I don't think it's the trap or whatever. Because now you get 4 guys at the blue line at times. Not often, but a couple of times a game.
Yeah.
They end up, they're all at the blue line, so you don't get in. They just don't want rushes, because rushes are they're terrible for a defending team because the skills.
And the speed.
And the speed. So they want the guys to shoot the puck in.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense. But I don't know if you could go with 5 guys, through 5 guys in neutral zone, even if you're good with the puck.
Okay.
But you're going to have 5 guys right there.
You can scheme against it, right?
Yeah. You'll get turnovers. Maybe you'll get less goals with that if you put back the red line.
Yeah. Well,
maybe, I don't know.
So when you say you like the game today, I don't know. I think a lot of people really miss the physicality. Right?
Yeah. Well, Chris, I'll stop you right there.
Okay.
Physicality today, when a guy gives a good check, he's on IR after.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah, I do.
A good check, you're out of the lineup, and you wait a week or 2 weeks before you come back.
Yeah.
That's because the guys are fast, big, and strong. You know, hits that. I remember I was waiting for a pass, and a defenseman from Toronto, he hit me, and my head was still back.
Yeah.
I went to the Toronto bench to change, and they had to tell me that your bench is not here. It's the other one.
The other way.
That's how I was gone. If I would get hit like that today, I would have to wait a year before I come back. Right?
Yeah, you would. But I don't know. I think we see it a little more in the playoffs, you know.
Yeah.
Another thing that Orr said, and I'm not just saying just because Orr said it, but Bobby Orr said it.
He must know something.
Well, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But he said, you know, if the league really is concerned about the health of the players like they say they are, that the red line would really help with that. It would kind of, it would slow it up a bit. You know, we're going to take that crazy speed back.
He's right.
So if it just because it's a faster game, all the guys are more talented, the game itself, like during the regular season, and I know back in that era, you got some bad games during the season. There are a lot of games. You just, some games you go and you're like, oh, it's tough to watch some nights. You just, you know?
You're talking about today's.
Yeah.
And it's probably teams that doesn't have exciting players on their team.
Yeah.
You know, if you have, McDavid that plays, just him will get you excited in the game.
Oh, yeah.
People
go to see him, right?
You don't need to look at the other guys. You look at him and you're happy you're going back home. Hey, that was a great game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you don't have these top players, I could understand because if you can't forecheck and grab that puck on the forecheck and work it out in the offensive zone and get some shots, that's for sure it's going to get boring. But when the guys, they make good dumps and they're on their toes to go on and forecheck, usually they get the puck, send it back to the point, they get shots on net, and it's exciting. The goalie's got to make some saves.
Yeah.
And you got to get goals if he doesn't. That's what makes it more exciting.
But, are you a special assistant with the Islanders still? Yeah. So you're still working with the Islanders with Lou. Lou loves you. He's a good man. He's a good man, Lou. Yeah, he's a good man. I love Lou too. God, he just he never ages. He looks like and same with you. You look the same with me. God. And time does fly, right? Time goes fast, right?
80 next year.
Yeah, in September. September. You got another year before the big 8-0. I have a few myself, but it flies.
Yeah, it does.
So, do you ever look at, and I know you're working for another organization, but do you ever look at your old organization, the only one you played for, and wonder what's going on there?
Never.
How come they've gone so far the other way? Not
Never.
Really. Yeah.
Not really. You have to replace players. You have to.
It's hard with the salary cap, right?
It's hard.
Yeah.
Most of the team, they can't move. They can move players. If they start to drop, you try to trade them. They don't want him because of his salary.
Yeah.
And then you're stuck. It's GM. I wouldn't want that job for.
Right.
No, it's so tough. It's so hard. And we take the guys. We pay pretty much everyone when he's a top player.
Yeah.
It's top money for top player or
at a young age.
At a young age,
which is a good thing because now, if you play, you're paying a guy, you're giving a guy a 7-year contract, 6-year contract at the age of 29. You're going to eat a bit. You could eat half of it, or a quarter, or close to it. So. That's difficult when you see. So today, obviously, drafting was always important.
Yeah.
But today even more so, right? Because of that.
Yes.
It's difficult to get those players you need. Yeah. Those, when you look at Florida, the type of team they had last year, they had their third and fourth line. I love their top two. But their third and fourth line, that helped them to be able to do what they did in Game 7.
Yeah. Well, in the playoffs, they were a big help.
Yeah.
And they're not over skilled, but the thing is they play well together, and their mind is on the right track. Everyone's mind is the same.
Yeah.
What we do to win, this is what we need to do. And this is the most important. You see teams that they're winning for a while. They'll go 6, 7, 8 games winning. And then there'll be a drop that they're 4 or 5 games. They can't be close of winning. And it's the same team. But I'm sure inside they don't think alike.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, do you think today's players are overcoached? Like, I just think back. Well, think about it. We had Jacques Lemaire behind us. We had the two guys on the bench.
Yep.
Two coaches.
Yep.
One took care of the D. One took care of really all of it. But Jacques was there with the D.
Yep.
And the iPads. I hate those fucking iPads. I hate them. I just do. I think. Listen, I get it. Between period, you want to look at something. Come off the ice. Get ready for the next shift. Boom. That's it. Watch the game. But do you think we're overcoached today, the players?
I'll skip the iPad and I'll go with the. I'll go with.
We can get the iPad next.
Chris, to be honest, I would say yes.
Yeah.
I would say yes because there's so many things they go over. Okay? So many things they go over every coaches. This, that, this. Me, I used to focus on what we didn't do well. And I had three things to worry about pretty much every game because I wanted that better.
What are those three things?
Well,
It would depend.
It depends the game, how we
Yeah,
play.
okay.
If it's RN, practice was in RN. If it's not scoring, well, try to make drills so we can get a little confidence. And it was like that. But today, it's more than that. It's a ton of things that they go over. And I'm wondering at the end, I know I'm not today's player. I don't have their brain. I'm not as intelligent as they are. All that. But I felt that you give me too much. You know,
Yeah.
I won't be able to think about all that, or I'll be only thinking.
You're overloaded. Yeah, in your head.
Yeah, in a way. I don't know. I just say that if you give me, I can't get caught because they scored 3 goals. We got caught last game. They scored 3 goals. Today, I can't get caught.
Yeah.
So if I got 3 like that, that would be easy for me. And if I do there's certain things are essential.
Yeah.
So you can't skip those. Those, it's nearly every game that you got to talk, except
Consistent.
if you see that, they have a pattern and it's no big deal. But, if there's something that they lack of, sometimes I see guys having a player behind them and the 2 defensemen, they want to either lead the zone or they're in neutral zone and they don't see the guy at their blue line and they make a long pass. That, I don't know if you just can correct it, on a laptop.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can just correct that on the laptop. But I would say that if you practice and the defenseman coach tell the guy, look around you before you leave. And he plays the game and he's got that in mind. And
Make sure you back up your partner.
That's it. Things like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just bring this up there, but I really don't know because I don't know how the players are today because I never coached them. So that's why I bring that up there.
Okay, but come on. You must have some idea. Would you have a hard time to coach a team today, do you think?
On certain
You could adapt. I mean, you have such a good hockey mind. Why you could adapt to today's game, no?
I don't know if you. Well, if I look at the patients that I have now that I had before, it's a huge difference.
Yeah, you have more patience now because
No,
less.
At the end of my career, I had no patience, no whatsoever.
Okay.
So imagine if I would have kept coaching.
Yeah.
And
you have been.
It's not good when you don't have patience, especially when you're going to have kids around you.
Yeah.
You got to be patient. It's tough if your team is not an elite team, not having patience, because you do need it. Depending, you need it more on certain teams than others.
Got you. So, yeah, I don't know. When I think about having all these coaches and all these things, like I just think of when I bring up the iPad, I just say it because I see guys on the bench right away. They go look at it, and for a coach, I would think that could be frustrating at times. I would want a team that come in, catch your breath. Is it that important to look at right away? If you knew, okay, there's something there, I'll look at it between periods. Get ready for the next shift. Watch the game. Be ready to go. And I don't know. Sometimes I think guys just look at it because they want to see the play they made.
Or go on TV?
Yeah. Who knows? But regardless.
No, that was a joke.
Yeah, I know.
No, but the iPad, that would be a tough thing for me. To see my players look at the iPad when the game's going on. I wouldn't mind my assistant to have iPad.
Yeah, to go and maybe say, hey.
Yeah. And maybe the odd time show the forward or defenseman, look here, be careful of this and that.
Yeah.
And over, it's done. I think it's the new wave, but hey, they want to look at it. I don't know what the hell they're looking. You missed the net. You missed the net on the shot.
You know you missed it.
Want to look at it.
Yeah, right.
No?
Yeah. All the stats today. All right. So I think we're a little overcoached, but
over stats.
Yeah. Like I guess it worked, it started in baseball, right? Billy Bean out in Oakland. I think it can tell you something, this information. You can gather some things of it. But do you think, like, we're getting away from, like, let's just go and play the fucking game. Go play.
Yeah. Well, the stats, Chris, don't forget. Stats is good for your contract.
Yeah.
You got 6 goals, but you play 20 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Whoops.
What? Yeah.
Yeah. 6 goals. He's a very average player.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
But he's playing 20 minutes. Whoop, he becomes important. Now they got to pay him. But sometimes these guys, they're played because they don't have better ones.
Yeah.
But the stats are, me, I always had my own stats there, and try to find
as a coach.
Yeah. a couple of things that it's important for me, and the rest you can use it because your team is losing. You go on, you look. We had more shots, but this is simple. But we had the puck more than them, and or whatever. You got all kinds of stats you can find to show that your team played fine. You know, they were not as bad as they say. But stats, you know.
Yeah.
What's important is how many times you're going to win a battle.
Yeah.
Whoops. If you got 10 battles, you didn't win once. Whoops.
Yeah. Whoops.
You're close to the bench, if not in the stands. No, but really,
that's what it is.
It's you got to find stats that help the team, not the individual, the team. If you do this, you're going to help your team. It's all about team.
And when we talk about that stat, the one-on-one battles, and I'll just go. I think when I look back at the way you coached with me and the team, and I remember you telling me, you know, about carrying the puck. Why do we do all these drills in practice? And it made sense to me. Because when you get the puck on your stick in a game, I want you to feel more comfortable with it. 1. 2, I want you to do something good with it. So it made sense to me. Now I get it. And then I remember doing the drill. You do it with me, face-off circle. You'd stand on the edge of the circle, and I had to react to the puck. And you had my feet moving, and my feet were going, and I needed to have quicker feet. I did. I was kind of a big lumbering skater, but all those drills helped me. They made sense. Then you told me, come down in front of the net, and you put a bunch of pucks there. Okay, up top under the bar forehand, up on your backhand. Why are we doing this? Because you're going to score your goals from here, and the goalie's going to be down. You got to get it up over him, and you got to do that really quick when you do it because somebody's going to be on you. So all those things made sense to me.
You know what age you do that? How old were you at that time?
Oh, shit. Well, 23.
23?
Yeah.
Now they do it at 6.
Yeah.
That's why they're good.
Right? Yeah, it's so different. But those things were never broached with me before. So,
yeah.
You know, as much as there was, you were kind of, up until that point, you're a little bit on your own, to be honest with you. You had coaches that could tell you things, and all my coaches had input, even as a young kid. Yeah. They were great. I'm not saying that. It's just coaching is so more advanced today, and there's so much more, it seems. But those things made such sense to me, and I knew they worked for me, the things you were telling me. So it helped me as a player, and in turn helping the team overall. And then I just go back to when we talk about video. You know, I remember we would go in the room and you'd say, all right, I'm going to show you some things we're doing wrong. I'm not picking on anybody. I'm not trying to embarrass you, but we have to look at these things. And you would always show, okay, I give the puck away, or someone was out of position when we were doing a certain thing, and you'd show that. But you'd always finish it with the positive.
Yeah.
So you showed both. And God, guys would leave the room like that instead of like, oh shit, he was picking. You made sure of that. And I know probably they do that today to some extent, video, but I don't know. Could it be over?
They don't go that much on
video,
on the negative
at all
today.
Yeah.
No,
I got to see what I'm doing wrong, right, Jacques? It helped me to see what I was doing wrong.
Yeah.
You know, it helped me to see.
Well, you know, I understand you got to be positive. You got to be positive there's a time to be positive and a time to be negative. Okay.
Yeah.
And I believe this today. And I know somebody told me that you would have a tough time with the guys today. And what I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Me, I feel that to correct players when you teach the room, okay, it's numbers. It's not. I remember I told that not in Montreal because I was starting and it was not in my mind again. Although Naslin told me that your team presentation is a little too negative. I said, okay, I'll check. And then, I loved it because
feedback.
I knew it's good feedback. I'm going to try to, but I wouldn't be able today go only positive. I would not because I don't think that I would be able to correct the individual as quick as I could.
Yeah.
So if the thing is, the players, they take it personally. That's what I notice with time, that they take it personally. And that's why I say, hey, I used to take number, instead of saying Chris Nilan, hey, Chris, here, I would say 30 should be right there at this time.
Yeah, the number instead of the name.
To, try to avoid a little bit that the guy takes it personally. But on the other hand, we're making a meeting so everyone can learn. So if you don't accept criticism, but, smart criticism, if you don't accept it, you're not a man.
No. Yeah.
Why you get guys there after games, they say, well, that was my fault and this and that. He takes it. He's a man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I heard the guys there, on this goal, I left my guy going. He's a man. He knows he let the guy go. A goalie's going to play bad. Oh, I didn't have it tonight or this.
Yeah.
They can accept it.
Yeah.
They'll go far. They'll play long. But, don't say that. It hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Come on.
It is funny because we come from that era of, and you said it earlier, if you didn't play and you weren't playing well, fucking you're going back to the minors. They didn't tell you, you're not playing well. You want to know why? You'll find out.
You'll find out.
Yeah.
It's funny because I look at in my career, once in a while I had a tap on my back after scoring a big goal or something like that. But it was always negative.
Yeah.
I did all right.
Okay. Yeah, you did.
All right. As a player, I'm talking about. I remember Coach, hey, Nick, we don't talk. We'll talk about the positive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It doesn't help you.
I don't know. It's something that people find out that it's better to work with the positive. But if I go back and I try to be positive, I hope I'll have the same result.
Yeah. And like, I remember you came to me a game after a game, and you said to me, how do you think you played tonight? I said, I think I was pretty good. I was okay. I've been better. He said, come on, Chris. Be honest with yourself. And it's hard for players to be honest with themselves. When you have a good game, I guess it's easy, right? But when you don't, you try and soften it a little because, and from that point on, it helped me to analyze my own play instead of have someone telling me. And listen, did I always play great? No, I didn't. You can't. It's impossible. 82 games a year. You're not always going to be. But the one thing you said after that, which really I carried with me and I tried to do, and I didn't always do it, but at least I tried. You said you can have one of those games every 10.
Yeah.
And I said, ooh, that's a tall order. But you know what? It gave me something to shoot for. It gave me something to shoot for, but you know, I knew. So I had a bad game. I'm thinking, I can't do this again. I gotta get out of this. Whatever, you know, whatever funk I'm in. And usually it was moving my legs.
Yeah, that's it.
Because if I wasn't skating, I wasn't.
That's it.
What am I doing out there?
So if I tell you this, and because you're not skating, you do not help the team.
Yeah.
And I need you to do this so you help the team.
Yeah.
Say it's
hearing those words.
it's all. If I let the guy not play well and try to be positive with him all the time, I do not myself. I'm not helping my team either.
Yeah.
in a way, everyone has. They come with their lunchbox, and they have something different to offer.
Yeah.
To eat. So what you have, that's what I want you to get every game, to give every game. So you come in, you're a Chris Nilan, you got to skate, you got to forecheck, you got to be on top of the guys, you got to hit at the right time, you got to stay on the ice as much as you can. You're going to take penalty because you're not a normal player.
I get it. Oh, you hurt my feelings.
No, but you're not you're not you're a guys that play tough, and a guy that plays tough, he's going to trip a guy once in a while. He's going to whack a guy a little too hard. He's going to give the what at times. As long as you don't do it too many times, it's not a problem because your demeanor.
Yeah.
I'm going to get another guy though that me as an example. If I take 2 penalties, I need somebody to get at me. I'm not supposed to take 2 penalties.
Yeah.
I don't slash no one. I try to get the puck. I try to run with it. Or skate with it.
Yeah.
I try to make a play. I try to get a goal. I got to take it, try to keep it out of our net. And it's like if I don't back check one game, I got it. They got to let me know. Otherwise, I don't help the team. And it's everyone like that. I'm looking at what you can deliver. And that's what I want. I don't want anything else. I don't want you to score 2 goals. Never ask anybody to score 2 goals. Never. Not even Lafleur.
I remember I scored 2 goals once in Quebec City, and you leaned over and you said to me, "Don't forget where you came from." I mean, come on, let me have some fun with this. Shit.
I didn't like that.
And that was like the that game. I think it was the game when they put the pigs on the ice. Remember they put the pigs on the ice?
Yeah.
And they shit right in front of the bench. Oh my God, it stunk. Oh God.
That was the good days though.
Right? What good days for sure. I just come. I'm going to ask you: 9 Stanley Cups, 8 as a player,
Yeah.
1 as a coach. What for you was the best one? Your most I guess the important one for you.
Yeah.
Like,
You know, you start, at 20 years old, and you go in the NHL. First year, you score, you get you win the cup. It's special. You get to live all the emotion that team that won had, and the parade and all that. You're on top of the world. It's important. Um, the other one would be 76, the Flyers,
yeah,
for the reason that I mentioned there, and it was something really special for us to win there. And the other one, I wanted badly, was my last year, because I was leaving, and
yeah.
to leave with that.
And did you know before the year you were leaving? You had your mind made up. That's it. When you make your mind up, you're pretty good at like fucking sticking with it. I know that. You don't change your mind much.
No, I don't. When I make my mind up, usually that's what I do. But there's to answer your question, all that you'll never forget. All of them you
Yeah.
can't. But these three are a little special. But the one
Yeah.
that comes above that, it's as a coach.
Yeah.
It's strange. It's it's not good for Montreal in a way.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you the reason, though.
I want to hear this. I want to see if I'm on the right page, in the right track. But I want to hear this. I got it in my head what I'm thinking.
I coach that team, and coaching it's like a father. You got kids, and they're playing. It's like your kids, and they're playing for you.
Yeah.
You love them. You go through tough times with them, and then you get to win the cup,
Yeah.
and you go in the finals, and you see how they're together, and I'm a part of that. I'm not part of it. I'm outside of that. I feel.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at them, and I'm so proud of them.
Yeah.
But there's nothing that I say I brought them there. There's nothing like that. It's them. Even after the last game, they had a picture. I wasn't there. I told the guy, "It's yours. It's all yours. All what comes now, it's yours. You guys deserve it." I saw the work, the relationship among each other, the excitement, the cries, and they made me cry. They made me. I look at them, some of the guys were crying on the bench, and I had tears. I was proud. You wouldn't believe. So what I'm saying is, the emotion that I got, all the emotion, coaching that team and winning, it had to be the best thing in my life.
I love that. And listen, I get it. So you win 8 Stanley Cups with Montreal. You're a player. You're part of that group. Okay? You're part of that team that did all that. I get that. You're one cog in the wheel. Important one. You're separate from that team as you're the conductor.
Yeah.
And Lou got the players there. He brought all the players there. You molded them together. And when they came together. They did what they did. So, yeah, you're separate of that, but you're responsible in a big way because you introduced that system to them.
I know. I know at the end that I'm responsible, but I didn't think like that. And, you know.
Yeah, I know. I am because I can look at it that way. I can take myself out of it and look at it that way because I was able to benefit from what you did as a coach when I was there, and I could see it working in New Jersey. And I get how when you get a group of guys to come together, to care about each other, care about what they do on the ice, and go through all that pain and suffering together to get to the pinnacle, and then they do it, yeah, you know, I mean, just hearing it, the emotion that you had there, that I love that. I love hearing that. I think you're a little too humble in the sense that, yeah, you had nothing to do with it, much to do with it, but you did. You had a whole lot to do with it. But to be responsible, you're responsible for yourself when you're a player.
Yeah.
And you're accountable to your teammates and the coaching staff and everybody. But as a coach, you know, you're responsible for all them guys. That's
100% right.
That's such a big difference. And that's where I think with you, the emotion comes because you are responsible for them. And then when you see them, you know, you're the father, like you said, it's like a family. And when you see them care and do everything for each other, and then they come together and they execute it and get it done.
Yeah, yeah.
I can see why that's the best one. I get it. I get it. 8 as a player, 1 as a coach, and that 1 as a coach is the best one. I get it. I certainly understand. I think that's so cool. And yeah.
You know, not that I forgot the 1 as a player.
No.
But you describe it so well. It's a player among 20 other players.
Yeah.
And a coach that is guiding 20 players.
Big difference. Big difference.
It is different. Anyway, it is for me.
There's one thing. Oh, I can see why, and I get it for sure. So, my man, Jacques Lemaire, 8 Stanley Cups, 1 as a coach, 9, Hall of Fame. The numbers you put up, I love the plus 344. I was -1 in my career. -1, yeah.
You didn't play long enough with me.
Yeah. I had Cabo. I didn't play long enough with Cabo. But
for me as a coach.
Yeah, I know. I wish. But I guess there's one thing that I would like to see. I don't know if it certainly hasn't happened yet, but and I know it's hard to ask the player. I'd be better off asking Steve Shutt, maybe Larry Robinson, maybe Bob Gainey, maybe someone else you played with, Ken Dryden. Maybe Ken Dryden. Why is number 25 not in the rafters of the Bell Center?
No comments.
There you go. That's what I thought. My name isn't Larry Brooks here. It's Chris Nilan, not Larry Brooks. Like it should. Like, hey. Come on. You're a point-a-game player, playoffs and regular season, 8 Stanley Cups with a team. I mean, you set the table for Guy. You set it for Shuddy. I don't know. I don't get it. Some things are wrong. And I just think number 25 should be in the rafters, you know?
Like they say, I don't give a flying.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome stuff. Hey, listen, I really appreciate your time, like you always. I love talking to you. I love you as a person, not just a coach, as a person. And I think it's how many years now? You and Michelle, is it 56?
7.
57. So you got to hit the big 6-0 mark, right? Gonna be there.
It's coming.
And you know what? I'm glad you're finally able to relax. You're down in Florida, enjoying life, playing golf, and what a wonderful career you had, and as a coach and as a player, and just a stand-up guy, a guy who's I just impressive. It's impressive what you've done in the hockey world, no question, and with your family, no question.
Thank you.
Nothing but respect for Jacques Lemaire.
You're a good man.
Always. All right, bud. So
Enjoy coaching you.
yeah,
Everyone said Nilan's he had to be tough to coach. No, very easy. Very easy. If you ask him to do certain things, when he knows what to do, he's happy. He just plays.
I had some problems with coaches, Jacques. You know what?
I know.
You know what my problems were?
What?
When I felt I didn't get respected.
I mean that's
and
one.
You always respected me, which
all the tough guys, I respect all the tough guys. I always felt that it is a hard job to do every night, and it's not like today. It's every night. I'm talking about.
Yeah, every night.
Every night you play, you had to go and you wanted to go. Me, I didn't like that. I always thought that these guys, they can play, they can learn the game and play at the same time. They're there for certain reason, and if that reason doesn't appear, just play. And I had a lot of guys like that. Some I had more difficulties to make them learn the game.
Yeah.
Which, I thought I failed with them. But, on the other hand, I appreciate all the guys there. They held the team. I can say that.
For sure. And it's like, I remember the time you told me, listen, I remember the night in New York, you told me, you fight too much.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's he? No one ever told me that I fight too much. If anything, it was like.
Yeah, but the thing, Chris, when the guy does the job on the ice, you don't want him in the box, right?
Yeah.
And you started to get, what I asked about your job. You started
with Bob and Guy.
Do it perfectly. And you guys were playing against the top line, which I couldn't ask for better. I didn't want you in the box. I want Gainey in the box.
Yeah.
Our bone.
Yeah. So, it's funny. Ken Linsman told me the best. He said to me it was one of the best checking lines ever in hockey. You could do everything. Like you could score, you could fight, you could hit, you block shot, did everything. Like Linsman told me that, Kenny. But and it's funny. I had a player when I coached. I went on my own and coached as a head coach down the East Coast League. And he was a French kid, LP Charbonneau, his name was. And we got him in a trade. He come in, he had like 400 minutes in penalties the year before. And I said, listen, you fight. I'm never going to tell you to fight. I told him, I will never tell you. I said, one thing, do you want to play hockey? Do you want to get better? Do you want to be? He said, I'd love to. I said, all right, we're going to work on something. I did all the things that you did with me because he wasn't the best skater. He had some talent, though. He could shoot the puck and move the puck. But he was so busy fighting all the time, he never took time and no one ever took time with him because they just used him for that.
Yeah.
And then what'd he do that year? He scored like 25 goals that year. And we started working on then I played him. I put him on the thing you did with me, go in front of the net in the power play, be available, get off the net sometimes. You're not just going to stand there. You got to be able to play the power play, too. You got to be able to move the puck. He did all those things. He had he had his best year of hockey he ever had. He loved it. I was like, so when you talk about that, we didn't win a championship, but I also understood when I left that team after the last year, that group of guys were together. It took a while. And like you've always said, that's 95% of the job, right?
Yeah, that's
Getting them to play as a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's every team, when you say, the spirit of the team is good and all that, go and check the one that wins trophies. That is the top.
Yeah, right.
So you still, every team's still a lot to learn before getting there.
Yeah.
You listen to, I remember last year, I was listening to one of the players there from Florida.
Oh.
And I know how the game turned out to be, offense and all that, and players are talking all. He said, now we're going to win if we play good defense. I said, holy shit, not again?
Yeah, someone got it. Yeah, and I don't care what anybody says. Like, if you don't have that part of your game and you can't play that part, you're not going to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
And it's no guarantee. You need a blend of that, but if you don't have that mindset as a group, it's really hard to win. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
Jacques, again, I love you, bud, and I appreciate you coming on. And maybe we'll do this again down the road, but I love having you on. I love having our talks always, and give my best to the family.
Thank you.
And say hi to the best one, Danique, my boy. I love that kid. Good kid.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Raw Knuckles with Chris Nilan on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.